and welcome to ETF2L Highlander Season 19 Preseason 1919 One Night Cup Round 2. My name is Agro, and I'm joined together this day by the most amazing human, nay, American, otherwise known as eXtine.
Yow! How's it going, Agro?
Oh, after that introduction, my voice is spent. I used it all in the intro. We're doomed.
Yeah, well, we had one game in the bag already. We got another fantastic game ahead of us, and we actually have another matchup that is a best of three coming up after this. The Nations Cup, France versus Germany. Right now, though, in front of us is going to be inVision taking on a team that goes by the name of Wiethoofd. Yes, indeed. And this is also a new map, part of the preseason features. We're going to be doing Clearcut B10A is the map for tonight. Also, two modifications to the white list. No Wrangler, no Fist of Steel.
I was a big fan of Pre-B Charlie 6 November. I don't know what...
Tango.
That's the one. That's what all this map-making malarkey is about. Look, we've got two fantastic teams, inVision and Weed Cake Sellers. And we did a little rundown. I don't know whether you've listened to the previous VODs, but we did a little rundown through inVision. So I'm going to be a gentleman and take those names once again. Paul, Stingham, George... Tuja, Strono, I don't know why you're laughing, T-Toad, Barthes, Doom, and Evil!
Over for Weed Cake Sellers, gonna be Spans on the Sniper, Sammy the Demo Man, Sodium the Engineer, Buck on Heavy Weapons Guy, Psy on Pyro, Bees on Soldier, Macy on Medic, and Fire on Spy.
Not the bees. Not the bees. Well, look, we're live now. We're running out to mid. This first attempt at mid. I think either one of these teams is... I think they're both new to the map in every kind of sense of the way. Both trying to get a feel for what it is that they should be expected to do in order to play it, in order to make it fully effective. And one thing that's going to come as a huge surprise to these players is there's no ammo.
And this is a pretty straightforward Koth map. You know, 3 directions... Basically, a little like trident maps, you know, like you can go in any which way. You just kind of stand back behind the point, throw things, throw players forward. Right now, kind of all the initial exchanges, 3 players down on each side. It is D-Toad pushing forward aggressively, who's going to be the first to go down. Overcharge comes out. Point capture won't get finished. They run into Jorge and the heavy weapons guy Barthes on the side there. They're going to pop Overcharge and Response, and haven't finished the capture yet. Barthes, though, as the Uber fades, he gets taken out, kind of overextended there. Jorge in the shack on defense's right-hand side.
Who cares? George is now battling it out, keeping the Pyro alive, looking for that elusive spy who doesn't seem to be there. So, well done, Pyro. You are suitably paranoid.
And this map is interesting. I mean, you got kind of 2 houses, maybe red house, blue house, our house, their house. A lot of the different ways to look at it. But both teams kind of using those as kind of the bases to push forward from. Jorge and inVision are kind of outside of their house, while the other team, Weed Cake Sellers, got their setup a little bit more inside, but they've kind of been pushed far enough back. Capture will go down. Evil was kind of messing with them behind enemy lines. Tuja back there as well. Tuja gets taken out. A few players down, and Macy did have to use the charge there. So
yeah, realistically on this map, I think you've got to hold forwards. I mean, there's no point holding back. There were no really good sniper lines on this map. Certainly not to try and defend mid from like behind your line.
And there's certainly a lot of weaving flank routes that teams can use to kind of approach things from different angles. Controlling that stuff is going to be really important. There was definitely some kind of pre-game thoughts that, okay, getting forward will be really strong in here. Right now, Macy and Sammy trying to get forward themselves. Sodium charging into the house with the shotgun. Does get the kill on Barthez, punishing him for some aggressiveness there.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing another push from House. Sodium really being massively aggressive. Gets the pop out of there. So it looks like advantage is definitely in Macy's court.
Yeah, they have conceded the point though. King of the Hill, getting that 3 minutes off the timer is the most important thing. So our blue team here, Wheat Cake Sellers, will look to get the recapture here as the overcharges fade. Jorge is standing behind the spire here, the big water tower, and getting some good heals out there. So that's encouraged their team to charge back forward. And since the point hasn't gotten flipped over here, time still just counting down for inVision as Wheat Cake Sellers have been rebuffed.
Yeah, they utilised that Uber quite nicely, I think, but really didn't, as you say, convert the points. And that's the most important thing. It's like pushing a card. You've got to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And Bees was trying to fight on top of this roof, which you can actually climb on top of, sort of more reminiscent of Coal Plant / Asheville. But Bees does back off of that, and Evil able to get a stab. And the offense from Wheat Cake Sellers seems a little scattered, like not really sure what they're trying to open up, where they're trying to go. They did get a snipe on Sting in there, as the Ubercharge has come out in response from inVision. That's of course going to pop the Ubercharge out of Macy, but they're still sort of backing up. Now they're trying to get a little bit more pressure on the point. They need to finish this capture though to stop the clock, and there they go finally.
33 seconds left as well. They really needed to take that. If not then when? But now they're a little bit separated out, and they're getting shaved. All of these outstanding hairs are being shaved off the face of the earth, as it were.
Yeah, they got totally crushed after that. Tuja got a kill on Macy. Couldn't kind of continue to fight, so they finally got the point, finally captured it, but it just took too much resources. They weren't able to.
No, I thought Evil was going to do something fantastic there, right outside blue spawn. Buzz was spotted almost immediately, but nice try. I definitely take my hat off to you in terms of innovation.
He's got some creativity. We'll see what Fire can do as he's trying to get in on Jorge. Will end up just taking a stab on Paul. His team will get a player on the point to ensure that there's an overtime. It does look like a good chance for them to get this capture, but it'll be 2 minutes that they'll have to hold. Get the kill on Doom, who's managed to get a teleporter exit up on the roof there. It enables the heavy weapons guy to get up there.
Yeah,
I think this is a very strong play.
But it's looking to make full utilization. Of course, being as he shoots from his eyes, he could have done something triply effective, but was not the case. Barth is taken down by, I think, Sniper?
Yeah. That's a great kill there. Evil then gets the stab on Buck. Kritz has come out here, detailed, throwing stickies and pipes around. Will end up getting Sammy. B's fighting from the side here, but most of the players down. And looks like the capture will come out here, closing out the first round for inVision.
That was a really solid fight. I was not expecting this to be such an aggressive match.
Yeah, Koth maps are always interesting. It's a ebb and flow of aggression. Sometimes you got to play it back and be real cautious, but if there's a good opportunity to strike and you get the right players out there, get those right drops, you have the Uber charges correctly, then you need to be really, really aggressive with punishing the enemy team.
I think B's the first one to stand on the roof down and fire in some rockets, but again, not really super effective.
And while the first round got away from him, I do have to give a shout out. It seems like Denkra is standing very tall against Stingen in the sniper battle, and Stingen certainly no slouch. There's been more frags going down for inVision. Fire now kind of evening the board a little bit as the spy goes down for Wheat Cake Sellers. They've kind of backed up a little bit here, not able to get the same sort of point pressure as inVision, so inVision getting quite a lot of capture time here. The Uber charge has come out from Buck, but we do have the counter Uber in response from inVision. D-Toad going to soak up most of that as the Demo Man gets a little bit of stickies out on the point. Wheat Cake Sellers trying to roll back this cap timing. Haven't really been able to get any frags though, as Doom has gotten sniped down.
Yeah, Wheat Cake really stands a chance of actually getting some time on the clock now. Neither team really capping it. Both teams have been very, very close to making some successful push. It looks like inVision are finally going to get some points on the point. And maybe get the clock to start ticking in their favor. Evil hanging out way up there in front lines again. Only person who's being super 100% aggressive.
What?
Gets the stab on Dekra.
Yeah, that was kind of a very odd, insane backstab there. I mean, the game called it a backstab. We should call that a backstab. But certainly interesting stare angle there. It was going pretty good for weed cake sellers for quite a while there, and then eventually it just kind of started to fall apart with a lot of frags going against them. Really good pressure here now, but they have to execute it well. Great counter pressure here, though. They block the capture. That is, the inVision crew blocks the capture with a perfectly timed overcharge. No players here yet that can actually finish this capture time off, so the clock continues to tick here. Barthas has gotten sniped down. There goes Buck, though. And again, the capture not finished yet here.
No, but Macy's done now. There's not a great deal of resistance going on by this blue team. They're running away. B's with his tail between his legs, which is quite impressive for a B.
Yeah, inVision just playing the super smart in terms of their pressure, where they're standing on this point, blocking the capture, and really forcing weed cake sellers to take kind of some awkward fights here. The weed cake sellers are just trying to move through their house aggressively forward. Buck kind of isolated, sort of a little worried he might get caught out, but he does get the kill on Paul, the scout for inVision.
Fire was trying to do something successful, but is now lit on and dies to the flames. So almost prophetic naming there by Fire. The pop coming out of the red team there, that's Jose. And being super aggressive, cleaning out the entirety of house. It's now their home. They're setting up a TV and putting in their own couch.
Yeah, making themselves comfy, that's for sure. And the capture has never happened for weed cake sellers this round. They were so close earlier, but 2 minutes and 15 seconds have been taken off.
Watch out, here comes Fire. Makes a chance stab. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Not quite able to.
Oh, Fire, you let me down again.
Stingin was sniping from a very interesting spot. Was all the way kind of across the point, sniping back and across it. Doom once again has that teleporter exit on top of the shack. We haven't seen that same sort of creativity coming out of Sodium. But the teleporter does get finished out by Spans, who jumped up there to clear that out. And the point has been captured over. 17 seconds is all that is left for the inVision crew, though, if they can get a recapture. And a strong jump in here from Tito. They've gotten the kill on Macy. Also pick off Sis there, the Pyro. Bees, the soldier, not going to last much longer. He gets taken out. A lot of frags.
I think Bees was taken out by the side of the barn there, so I'm not entirely certain whether that wasn't suicide.
Yeah, it sort of looked like he might have, but...
overestimated his own capabilities.
And they have conceded the point here, so looks like the second round, just a little bit more time until that goes the way of inVision. But I don't think the weed cake sellers will get anybody posted on the corner here. Nope.
Fire managed to get a foot in it, but died for his efforts. That was a really good, solid take by inVision. They are a dominating force on this map at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like the weed cake sellers don't really know where to post up. Don't know the best points to stand to distribute their damage across the map. It's an important part of the game.
Absolutely. Look, a lot of action happening in this HUD on the left-hand side on the blue team. Spams going in against Doom, and Doom pulls back and fights to live another day.
Bees with a big jump in. Detoad goes very weak. Landed on the roof of the kind of shed jutting out there, and I think that made the difference in not cratering. And the weed cake seller's so banged up right now. They're in disarray as Macy kind of getting chased away by the Pyro. Sis is there. Detoad bombing in and gets another kill on Macy. Nice pipe over the top. The Pyro reflect didn't quite come in time. Macy going down has been a big problem here. for the wheat cake sellers.
Absolutely. Look, you're at a point where even Doom, even the engineer, is feeling overconfident. Confidence that allows him to wander into your territory, into your base, and to post on your fridge a little message asking you to get more milk. It doesn't seem that wheat cake sellers are putting up any kind of a real defense or offense, for that matter, at all.
Well, certainly Doom keeps to his namesake, though. He has got a super shotgun. He's a danger on that engineer spot and has been finding all sorts of interesting spots. Somehow it got surfed up to where his mini sentry gun is. Drop that off there, and that does reach onto the point even without the Wrangler. So he's been very effective throughout this map, and it seems like it's just kind of that combination of all these kind of middle combat support classes able to contribute a lot to what inVision is able to bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, as always happens when you see a new map, it's the team that learns the map best and finds all of the tricks and all of the nuances that really gets to utilize them. Maybe it's just knowing the tricks that's winning them this map, but maybe it's skill as well. We can't discount that possibility. Pop coming out for Macy right now, utilizing the speed of Scout to draw her fast into the fire. Does her no good though. I'm sorry, I'm assuming the gender of Macy. My apologies if I'm incorrect. And thank you for leaving a nice long awkward pause for me to celebrate that in as well. Look, Evil manages to take down Sodium, a nice little backstab. I don't think there's going to be any kind of a fight to be put up here at all by the team of Blue.
They're getting out here now.
Weed.
Yeah, Mackie out here with Sammy on the point. This is a little bit better from him. They've already gotten some frags to kind of get in here, but then they lose Sis and Sammy, and those are just kind of players that you can't push without the Pyro and the Demo Man. That's sort of the difficulty of Highlander. There can only be one, so some of these players play such an important role. And you can kind of have other classes, shift over to help with that, but once you lose 2 or 3 of these clutch classes, it's just a lot more difficult if you haven't even started the push. If you're mid-fight and then you lose, the Demo Man, yeah, you can kind of carry on after he's done all his damage, but you're not even in there yet and he goes down. It makes it very tough. Right now, though, they have all these players alive, trying to get in there, trying to keep this map going as they're fighting in to contest this point. They are going to be able to get a capture here, it seems, but the bomb comes in from the side. Tuja bringing pressure from the flank, and we have changed maps. That means indicating the game is over.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's fair to say. There was a lot of aggression coming out of inVision's side. There was a little bit of resistance towards the end there. I think it was good to see. It was good to see my man Buck and the rest of the guys at Wheat Cake Sellers finally get their colouring on that point for the last time. But it's fairly safe to say that was a one-off. I would have not have been surprised to find that they had lost that soon afterwards.
Yeah, and I think the question posed there then is, was there a larger skill discrepancy that explains the 3-0, or was there map issues? Particularly since this is a new map. And then that gets into the other question of, were there map issues because inVision, were warmed up and they scrimmed this map, let's say 2 times beforehand. Whereas Wheat Cake Sellers are kind of like, we got a map today. What's going on? What's reality? And then they show up and then they're like, this is like Viaduct, right?
I'm guessing the name kind of gives it away, that the state of mind, that there's a possibility of not knowing who on earth we were. So right. That's a real possibility. I think what always happens though, when a map is new, until one team starts creating that meta and figuring out the best way of playing it, it's going to be a case of who's got the best DM. Who can corral together, who can move together, who can make the best use of those picks and pushes. And I'm guessing, unless inVision had just learnt that map backwards, inVision are going to be the team to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, there's certainly these things, on the behalf of the defense of the weed cake sellers. Sometimes on new maps, maybe they've they have scrimmed it, but you can get stuck in a habit of holding these ways. And I guess that's also sort of what I want to point out about the map itself. Maybe they will look at this VOD and then just sort of realize, like, oh, like,
whoops,
we were just doing that completely wrong. Like, why did we always just keep running out this way? Why do we always just keep trying this? Sometimes it's real easy. These Koth maps are fairly DM centric. Sometimes it's easy to get frustrated with your deathmatch and sort of forget that tactics, really do dictate how well the deathmatch goes.
Yeah, the other thing is, if you end up looking at a map like that, it's a brand new map, and you think, hey, this looks like coal plants, or this looks like viaducts. Let's play it like we're playing viaducts, or let's play it like we're playing that other map that it's very similar to. It's not that map. It has nuances. It has differences. You've got to think of it from scratch. And I think Doom was probably the best representation of that. Someone who really looked at a map and thought, hey, what can I do? How can I break this map? How can I make this map mine? It just pulled off some amazing, like, positioning of those sentry guns, positioning of the teleporters, and really utilizing the map to its fullest extent. That was kind of amazing. And there's so much more to be seen. I'm not sure that map is going to make it through, but if it does, I think it will change so much throughout the season. I think there'll be a real transition from where we saw it right now in this preseason cup to where it'll be at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, it sounds like it's been in development for quite a bit, and it's one of those maps that in some ways is really basic setup, but it's very hard to control because there's just a lot of routes, a lot of possibilities going on. I think that there's some other Koth maps that bring some good possibilities. It's always a tough discussion when it comes to map pools because at the end of the day, we can only have so many. I'm in favor of having a little bit more rotation and bringing in some new maps, even if they don't necessarily seem all that different, just so that players can have new projects to work on, new things to do. We can cycle back the old maps, so we can cycle back in some new maps. This map certainly seemed like it's got a lot of potential. I'm curious what the players' perspective is, and what maybe some of the other trends of other teams matched up on this map might be.
Absolutely. Look, I'm all for bringing back 2 forward as well. Let's bring it all super traditional, old style as well. There's this game is nothing but it's never going to be called short of maps. There's so many possibilities out there.
Yeah, exactly. We had a G-Pit the other day, which you guys should check out that VOD. That was for the Eurolander. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. That's a map that still works out fantastic.
Talking about weak cake sellers, so many, looking at G-Pit, so many flashbacks. That was back to 2012, I want to say. Maybe before. Maybe that was one of the first maps. But look, we can sit here and talk about maps until we're blue in the face or red in the face. There is another event coming up very shortly. It is, of course, the ETF2L Nations Cup. France versus Germany. Are those the right teams? Well, we're going to see CJ, I hope, is going to be opening his gob and spreading some good vibes. Who's he going to be talking with?
Oh, none other than me, myself, and I.
Oh, my goodness
I'm the fortunate one. Yeah, I'm extremely excited about it. I've been enjoying this Nations Cup, casting the group stage. France versus Germany is a hype matchup. France has been blowing up in the Counter-Strike scene recently. They've always been present in TF2, and just excited to see what their Highlander team has for the showing today. We saw Kazarok, their sniper. He was doing pretty solid in our very first game here today. It's just, I don't know, best of 3 Highlander Cup under the circumstances. it's just been so hype, and I'm very excited to have CJ with me as well for analysis. So looking forward to that in about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, CJ does an absolutely wonderful job, and I'm really looking forward to getting off the mic for a little bit and listening and watching you guys talk your way through the Nations Cup. Look, for now, for the time being, we're going to a little break, but do stay tuned. That's all to come up. Thank you very much, CJ. CJ, thank you very much, eXtine. I'm going to step away from the microphone, and while I'm here, I'm going to have a quick little shout out to Wiethoofd, who is, of course, the man behind the camera, who's been feeding us lines and ice cream in the background all this time.
Hi, old beaver! Away!